Bonjour, everybody. Hi, this is Neshi Locatz. Welcome to Star Nations organization. I'm kind of laughing a little bit. We had to rearrange the studio just a bit, and things are just not quite in the same place they were yesterday. Anyway, welcome to Star Nations organization's main fan page. This is I do a card draw every single day, practically, and share that information with you. And so today is Friday, June 1st, and we're doing the card draw. Well, I already drew the card. So we're going to discuss it and share with you the information that came through. And so it's going to be a good morning. Good morning, Elise. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, it's Friday. And for those people who have a 9 to 5 and they drive in or they have to go to work. And so I understand. I used to do that too. So Fridays was always, yay, the weekend's almost here. And Julie Hedges is here too. Hi, guys. So this is, I keep hearing, I don't know. I think my husband might be parking the car out in front. I'm up at the Star Nations Academy. We've been doing the live streams up here for most of the month now, and it's I like it up here. It's quiet. It's not so because my house can sometimes get like Grand Central Station with so many people coming and going and helping mom and that kind of thing. And so anyway, we're up here at the academy, and I like it up here. I do. One of the things I think I'm going to do either today or tomorrow maybe is to actually do the live stream with my phone rather than my laptop and take you on a little bit of a tour. It's not a big building at all. It's like one room. But I thought maybe you'd like to see the rest of the space. So I think I'll do that tomorrow. Elise is saying, just working on some of my stained glass while she's listening. Good for you. You should show us some of those pictures, That would be nice. Some of your work with the stained glass. Today's card, we haven't gotten this card yet. So it's brand new to us. Yeah. As I was shuffling the cards this morning and asking for guidance, right? Asking my full team, full complement of my spiritual team to come and to show me what was important for us to know today for the energy. This particular card, it didn't like pop out and land on the floor and, very dramatic kind of thing. No, it was like it slid. It slid out and slid toward me. So, it was like, okay, this must be the card. And this is what came. Field of plenty. Ideas, needs manifested. And you have to take a look at that artwork. It's a cornucopia of produce, of food. And there again, you have to note that these are the colors of the medicine wheel from the Seneca or the Algonquin nation. And so you see some people kind of get thrown by the color blue in there, the color blue. On their interpretation of the medicine wheel. And I've learned that through the Seneca eyes and knowledge is that blue represents the blue road, and that's, they call it the spirit road. And the medicine wheel that I studied and is my lifestyle also is based in the Eastern kind of belief system, Eastern on Turtle Island. And so it has to do, we also have blue. In fact, my mom will get kind of upset when we start talking about the black color. And she says, there is no black color. It's blue. So the blue road is for us, is for our earth walk. It's, or as Jamie calls it, the medicine walk. It's where our life lessons lie from when we go from the east to the west, right? And so anyway, the color that we use for that is also blue. Yeah. I like that artwork. Julie's joining us just for a bit today because she's picking up her car. Yay! She's going to have her wheels back. And Connie's here. Connie Water. I'm so glad you're with us, Connie. Elise says, on my timeline, folder from my studio and one called Garden Stones. Okay, I'm going to go out and take a look. Yeah. Hi, Dolores. Thanks for joining us. She says, hi, I'm using my mom's Facebook account. My name is Gloria. Oh, hi, Gloria. Gloria Latimer. So glad to be with you. Gloria, gosh, I feel like we've met. Your name sounds so familiar, Gloria Latimer. Yeah. Are you happen from Wisconsin? Do you live here in Wisconsin? I was just wondering. Your name sounds so familiar. Hi, Steve. So glad you're with us. Look at the card that we drew for today. Spirit popped this one out of the deck. Field of Plenty. Actually, they kind of slid it out. And it says, ideas needs manifested. Let's see if we can get that. And my camera is doing its own thing today. It's doing one of those automatic focusing. So if I sit forward, it kind of changes the focus a little bit. Keeps following me. So Jamie Sams wrote some really good stuff about this. And I had to say that I had to sit back and yeah, me too. Elise says, glad more people are joining. Elise, you got me thinking about a couple of things about the non-show, because I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if I want to, list this as a show. But on the other hand, if I don't treat it like a show, we don't get enough people to notice, because there's so much information out there on Facebook, right? That there's just so much being posted that things get lost. And that's why we keep asking you guys when we're doing our live stream shows for Star Nations Radio Network, the live stream shows here on Facebook, asking you to share and to comment and to like, because we know that those three things definitely Facebook likes a lot and will reward people, businesses for doing those things. And that reward is to get us into the news feed more often, so we're in front of more people. And so, it's got me thinking, Elise, you got me thinking. If nothing else, maybe what we can start doing is at least sharing the morning, grab your coffee, grab your juice, grab your water, and join us for the card draw, the energy of the day, for the day. And maybe if we just shared it with one person. I know that some people get a little nervous to share it to their entire timeline, because maybe they have friends or family that don't quite see eye to eye on spiritual stuff or religious stuff, and so they don't want to go in that direction, right? So so even if you just share it with just a friend, somebody that that's like-minded, and they might enjoy joining us for this time together in the mornings. So I don't know. Think about that. If you think of one friend or one family member, I should put those two together, because some of our family members are friends. That maybe if we share it with that one person and they share it with a person, eventually we're going to have this group of people who enjoy listening to and talking about, sharing about the energies for the day. And Mary Fry's with us too. Mary Anderson Fry. I have to say your whole name. It feels very poetic. Mary and I have known each other for a lot of years. And for those who are just joining, this is the card that was drawn for today. The Field of Plenty. Ideas needs manifested. So my intention, when I draw the cards, is what is the energy that's most important for us to know for today, and that I can share with others, right? And so the energy that's being shown to us each morning is about how energy flows to us, through us, around us, for us to not just be aware, but to truly witness. And when we are given the opportunity to actually utilize the information on that day, is to give it a try and see how things flow for you. And I gave an example the other day. I was having a conversation, and it was getting to be kind of a confrontational conversation. And I even said out loud, I was talking to, not to the person I was talking to, but to my spiritual team. You have to help me here. I'm not sure how to move this into a better direction. Show me how to do that. And because I was lost, it was like, come on, I know we can do this in a better way. And so literally, because we were doing a Skype, that you know how you get notifications popping up. Notification popped up, and that was the day that we had, or the day after we. No, it was the day that we had the card Whirling Rainbow, and that was about an energy field that is about peace. And so the notification came up for, I think it was YouTube. If you've missed, Neshi with today's card, Whirling Rainbow, and you can click on it. And it popped up, stayed up there for a couple seconds, and then it was gone. I thought, okay, that's my sign. Let's see. And so in my mind, quietly to myself, I'm talking to my team, and I'm asking them, I would like to put this situation, this conversation into the Whirling Rainbow field, energy field. How do I do that? Show me how to do that. And what they showed me was, for those people who know about Get Smart, that old show and the remake, the movie, the cone of silence. And so what my guide showed me was like the rainbow colored cone of silence coming down over the conversation. And that conversation took a more positive turn. And by the time we ended the conversation, we were on the same page. We really wanted to work together. We wanted to have the best possible outcome. And so, it's like, yay, I'm so glad I drew that card that day so that I could see a different way of dealing with a situation that may not have always been or even turned out as positive. So as the day progresses and the information that we get from this card, and I'm going to start that in a second, to see how that comes to you, and utilizing it, right? Yeah. Mary Anderson, she's laughing at my poetic. Her name is Poetic. Elise is saying, seems we are here anyway, like the form of discussing one card instead of many. Oh, that's so true. That really is true. And Steve is saying, I posted a couple of tarot cards the other day, and an army friend posted something on his own Facebook about it being negative somehow. Yeah, we all have slightly different beliefs around things. And sometimes all we're doing is planting a seed. We don't have to go into a full-blown discussion with somebody who we know that may not hold the same worldview as us. Sometimes it's just planting a seed. And we're not here to convert anybody. At least I'm not. I'm just here to be able to be of assistance as best I can, sharing information and having a conversation. And so sometimes you don't have to change them. If they don't want to change, that's okay. At least they recognize the word tarot. They recognize the card, and there's some people who wouldn't even be able to do that. All right. Field of Plenty. This card got me really thinking about manifestation. Longtime student of the law of attraction and all of that. The Secret. Remember that book and the movie? All right. So here's what Jamie Sams, she says, the Field of Plenty is an Iroquois nation teaching, the Haudenosaunee, that has to do with understanding of creation. She says, everything, when Great Mystery created our world, everything that would ever exist was created as an idea in the thought or spirit world. And those thoughts or those forms are found in the Field of Plenty. And so when we get this grand idea, it's like, oh, I think I'm going to do it this way, or I wonder how I could do that. That's how this started. This was just a doing a card draw, I was already doing it, posting a sentence about the card on our Instagram account. And I thought, brilliant idea one morning as I was drinking my coffee. Gee, I wonder, maybe Star Nation's community members would enjoy knowing the background, the backstory to the card draw, and not just one sentence that I put out on Instagram. And so that was just an idea. And I sat with that for a little bit, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a try, see what happens, right? And look what happened. So this is what they're talking about, is that those the Iroquois Nation, the Haudenosaunee, they have a belief system that there is a place that the Creator made that holds all of the thoughts that could create something to be bringing into the physical world. She says that the thought forms that provide all that is ever needed on the good red road of physical life exists in eternal readiness inside the field of plenty. Now, you have to know that our ancestors, those ancient ones, those that were here on Turtle Island long before the first European set foot here, the Haudenosaunee had this belief, the field of plenty. And we find this concept not just here, but all over the world. In feng shui, there is the manifestation and how to have energy flow through to help you, to support you. Your home supports you in establishing your dreams in the physical world. And they talk about the creation manifestation of that, and so this concept isn't just here. This is a term for it, the field of plenty. But in the modern day, right now, we find words and phrases like the law of attraction. We're going to send it out into the universe, our wish, our needs, our prayers. We're going to send it out there and see what happens. How many people have said that? I have. I'm going to give it over to the universe and for the creation piece. We're told and taught and understand that it's not the actual how is it going to be done. It's just that it's going to get done. So when we manifest something and it doesn't look exactly the way that we thought it was going to come to us, and we end up turning it away because it didn't come in the package that we thought it was going to come in, but it's there. It arrived, and in spirit or universe or whatever you want to call that, helped you to bring it into the physical world. It's just that the creator has a better view of our earth life, our earth walk, and what is actually going to be helpful. So it might be, it's kind of like having FedEx or UPS show up at your door with a present, a gift from somebody that you didn't know was arriving, and it's coming in a box that you don't particularly like the color of, so you're going to say, "No, I don't want that. Send it back." You don't even know what's in the box yet, and you're refusing it. Some people do that. And Carol, hi Carol. Carol is saying, I just bought my own set of tarot cards. Well, good for you. It's an ancient language, depending on which tarot cards you got. But the premise of the tarot is an ancient form. And so my suggestion, whenever somebody gets a new deck of cards or a new pendulum, is to clear them. And you can do that. You can do it with sage or cedar. You can do it with Reiki symbols, is to clear them and to dedicate them to the light. And you can just use those words. I dedicate this deck of cards, my first deck of tarot cards, to the light and only to the light. And that way you're setting boundaries. You're setting boundaries and announcing to the whole universe, all of creation, that these cards, only the light may come through these cards. And yeah, you can do that too with your pendulums and your cards. Yeah. I've even done it with my computer. I figured, why not? All right, so here is the part that it was one of those light bulb or aha moments for me in what Jamie Sams describes as the field of plenty. She says that the Iroquois women weave a basket that we call a cornucopia, right? And so if you can imagine the cornucopia, the shape of it, right? It's narrow on one end and very wide at the mouth. And so they use it to put items in like produce, right? We see it all the time at Thanksgiving, at least in the US. The shape of the field, the energy field of the field of plenty is like an upside down tornado. That's how Jamie Sams described it. So you have this cone, right? And that is the field of plenty. That's the energy field of the field of plenty. And she says that the Seneca tradition, the field of plenty is seen as a spiral that has its smallest revolution out in space and its largest revolution end nearest the Earth. All right, so if you can think about this, is that there's us two-leggeds are taking our ideas and we're praying about manifesting something. We're doing the ceremonies. We're writing our affirmations. We're stating our for the law of attraction in positive words. The largest part of the energy field is facing the earth. So it's bringing up all of those thoughts, all of those prayers, and taking them up into the energy field. And the smallest end is going into the energetic field, right? And taking those up into the field of plenty. And when I got that image, I thought, wow. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's that cornucopia. And when it's manifested, can you imagine? Think about that. Is that the manifestation is coming back down through that same energy field to manifest here on Earth. And it needs a wider end facing the Earth because there's so much coming through. Talk about abundance, right? Talk about abundance. Elise is saying we are all created for a reason, and through all of our searches, few figure it out. I know I'm still searching. I know. You know, the thing is that we kind of covered this last night in the Mystery School show with the Franklins, Orchard and Carl. We're talking about human potential. And there's one piece in there that we are co-creators. And it's in our DNA, it's in our makeup as humans, those two-leggeds, is that we have curiosity. And we question and we search and we want to find. And so that's just part of our makeup. It's part of the reason why we have life lessons. You know, we do a lot of research. We do. When you're awake on your path, especially when you first realize that, wait a minute, there's more to life than, okay? And you're starting to wake up to your conscious way of walking your spiritual walk here. And I don't know about you, but I was like a sponge. I read, I attended as many classes. I And it has shifted a little bit, and not much, but a little bit. I'm still an avid reader. I don't go to nearly as many classes as I used to. I used to teach a lot of classes, um, but I think that if we weren't curious and we weren't searching and looking to be, how can I get closer and closer to my original frequency? How can I live my life the best way possible and express my gifts through this life? If we were done with all that, why would we even need to be here? So until we've mastered the entire thing, then we can actually say, okay, I'm done. Let's go on to the next experience. That's my view, my 2 cents. And Dolores is saying, like that, asking the light to come through the computer. Pretty much, pretty much. Dedicated to the light. And when I talk about the light, we're talking about the Creator. It's a higher frequency, a higher vibration. Yeah. I've never been hacked, ever. Gonna knock on wood. Never, ever. Mm-mm. All right, so talked about the shape, and here we go. That shape of the cornucopia, right? The basket, that symbol that we use. Here in the U.S., primarily you only see it during the fall, during the last harvests, and in November, because that is the designated federal holiday for Thanksgiving, you see that symbol used a lot. And, for better or worse, it's also connected to the Native American, because that's Native American Appreciation or Awareness Month, right? There's one thing in there that is true, so true. It's one of those, what I call divine truths, is being grateful, being thankful. That's woven into that time of year. And the Iroquois and many of the nations, indigenous people across the world, not just here in Turtle Island, across the world, understand the meaning of being grateful and thankful. A lot of the prayers start out that way. They're talking to the Creator, and they're thanking them for thanking the Creator for what they've been given in this life, for their life, and thankful for whatever it is that's in their life, and then they go on to state what the ceremony is about. So there is that common thread. It's that what they call the golden thread that's woven through many different cultures, and that's the thankfulness. It's just not one day in November. It is every day, all year long, is to express that gratefulness and that thankfulness, and it's true because it's a higher vibration. It's a higher vibration to be thankful and appreciative than to turn your attention to the scarcity or to the lack, right? And we've heard that how many times in how many different classes, and how we utilize that in our everyday life. That is where the rubber meets the road. And that's how we are vibrating closer and closer to our true vibration that we came in with, our unique soul song, right? Is when we are consciously aware of our thoughts and our actions, that we try to make them as positive as possible, given that we're human. And there's that caveat, right? Because we're human. And so being thankful. And I know in Star Nations community, our community members talk about that quite a bit. Being really, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I appreciate. And so, it's embedded in our community. And even the show hosts, Every single show, you'll hear them say, I'm so thankful that you're with us, that you're here with us tonight. We appreciate you, watching our shows. And so, it's said out loud and it's said from the heart. And so, that's something that we can watch and be mindful of. Yeah. Mary is saying soul song. I love that. Yeah, it is. Our vibration out in the universe is like an orchestra. It's like, if you're familiar with, if you're, I've got a husband looking through a window at me. What you want? Nothing? He's out there with the mosquitoes. So if you're familiar with Robbie Robertson, he is a musician, a singer. He's Native American, and I believe it's the song "Twisted Hair," if I remember right. At the very beginning, he uses a recording, and this was done back in the 80s. Is that it's crickets, the sound of crickets. And it's the sound of crickets is sped up to the heart rate of a human. And when you hear it, it sounds like a choir singing. And that started a whole research about the sound of our vibration, our heart song, our whatever you want to call it. And it sounds like a choir. It sounds like a choir singing. And so the soul song really, really is true. We sound like a song. We do. I wonder do you ever wonder that? Think about that. What does your song sound? What does the song you have sound like? It's hard to say. Slow down and enunciate. Do you ever wonder what your soul song sounds like? I do. Mary's saying, yes, you introduced me to that CD. Yeah, absolutely. With Lori Lynn, it could be. I don't remember. There. Okay, at the very beginning of that recording, is you only hear the crickets sped up, and so it sounds like a choir. And then there's actually a human, a woman. And singing like an operatic kind of lyrics. But at the very beginning, it's just the crickets. And that's the part that I'm referring to. Then they introduce a human voice into that. But I'll see if I can find that. And there's also just the recording of the crickets without any music, not in Robbie Robertson songs. But and I'll try to find that. And I'll get it posted so you can experience it. Okay, I'll try to find it. Let's see. She also talked about. She says that in our present state of abundance, many of our inhabitants have forgotten that Thanksgiving is a daily way of living, not a holiday that comes once a year. Yeah, that's true. And it's kind of funny because, Jamie Sams created these cards in the copyright, I believe, is 1990. Yep, 1990. And so that was just 3 years after the first harmonic convergence. And that first harmonic convergence happened in 1987. And the harmonic convergence is when the planets all lined up, right? And that was part of the reawakening of a lot of people, And so she says that since that harmonic convergence in August of 1987, our elders have seen the field of plenty actually touch the Earth Mother and come to rest like a blanket over her body. In doing so, the field of plenty is now able to provide instant manifestation for all Earth's children since 1987. Now, if you just sit back and kind of remember, how fast things have sped up since then. And truly today, that's why That's why you should watch your thoughts. You know the old saying, be careful what you wish for because it just might come true. Okay. In our energy field today, in modern day, we are manifesting so much faster. It's like you think about it, and within a day's time, it's there or less, depending on what it is. So, really being mindful, heartful of what your thoughts are and what you're asking for, because it happens so quickly. Elise is saying he's now back with her and lost a ton of weight. Really? Well, that's what a good woman can do for you. Wait, I retract that. That's what a good partner can do for you, right? Brings out the best in you. She says the ideas. We have a muse. You've heard of muses, right? I can kind of be a muse sometimes. A lot of my friends, my sisters, call me that. She's the muse. I come up with these ideas, and I plant seeds. But anyway, sometimes you get this idea. And it's like, oh, I think I can do it this way. Or you're, for instance, evening shows, lighting is much different here in the studio than daytime, right? So when I did my first evening show from here on Tuesday, I just left my setup the way it was. And the sun behind me was so bright, I couldn't get enough light in front of me to balance out the sunlight that was coming in from the west. I ended up having to close the curtain. And so that I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have to change things around. How do I do this? I was trying to make things so complicated. And the thought came in, is like, you're working at a table, just put your chair on the other side. It was so simple, and yet it was a big move because everything then has to kind of switch around, right? It's just more than just moving the chair, but that's the simple part. Moving the sign behind me, rearranging the furniture behind me. It was so simple, but that thought came in and thought, oh, okay. And so many times, and it's our spiritual team that's saying, hey, do it this way or look at that way, or they'll tap you on the shoulder and say, look over there. So our spiritual team plays a big part in our manifestation. They play a big part in bringing those ideas so that we can do our part of it here on earth in the physical body to ground that manifestation to the earth plane. That's our job. It's our emotions. That's the fuel for it. Our emotions are the fuel for the manifestation. And that's why we can manifest something positive and something negative, depending on how strong your emotions are. How strong is the fuel that you're sending that thought to the field of plenty? I know it's deep stuff for 10:30 in the morning or 9 or 11:30 in the morning, isn't it? She goes on to write that every need in our world can be met when we act upon any good idea that comes into our minds. And that's one of the reasons why. Do you ever notice that when there's something new, relatively new, comes out, and it's like a few people come out with it almost at the same time? And that, unfortunately, that also causes some legalities, because everybody wants to claim it that's their idea, that's their patent, or that's their copyright, or blah blah blah, right? But if you just notice how many times the same or similar innovation or product or book or whatever it is comes out nearly at the same time. Why? Is because they're pulling it from the energy field called the field of plenty. They're manifesting from that field, and many times they're very similar. They're not exactly the same, because how can they be exactly the same when they're coming through the soul of that individual person? So their lens is just a little bit different, right? Yep. Judy's saying amen. I think, Judy, are you responding to when I said that's what a good partner can do, is bring out the best in you? Is that what you're saying amen about? And Elise is saying, not sure if I'm thinking of the same guy. Gospel singer from St. Paul? No. Robbie Robertson is he's a Native American man, and I believe he's Lakota. He was his music was very big in like the 90s. Yeah, I think it was the 90s. Yeah, I'll find a good YouTube. He's back at the window. Is there something I can do for you? What are you waiting for? Why are you lurking around my window?
Did you see the picture I sent you?
No, I'm working right now.
Are you still working?
Yeah. I'm on right now. I don't think he understands the concept of live stream. So this is what my life is like. Oh my gosh, he keeps me laughing, that's for sure. So the key to manifestation this is what Jamie Sam says, is what is needed are gratitude, trust, balanced with action. And because we're here in the physical body, we have to take care of the action part. Okay. So if we get a good idea and something's brought to us and we sit on it and we think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'm not sure about that. And you have all these doubts about your ability, or do you really think I can do that? And, and so we slow down the process because it has to come through us. And so the more that we've healed our emotional and mental traumas, the more that we trust in our intuition, trust in ourselves, the faster that we can ground those manifestations to the earth plane, to the earth, because that's our job. That's our job. And I'm smiling about that because, see, part of me, that's the adrenaline rush. And I will admit it, I love the beginning of a new project. A lot of adrenaline to it. Love it. That's why the magazine, Star Nations magazine, is something that I just love. I do. It's something that I can put my gifts to and ground to the earth plane. And I work with some fantastic people as contributing writers and the layout specialists, and but it's got that rush of adrenaline to it. There's a distinct beginning and end to an issue, and the following month we get to do it again. And so you get that jolt of adrenaline as we're manifesting and bringing that magazine into the physical world, grounding it to the physical plane. I love it. I do. All right. She says that thought always precedes form. So we have that thought and we send it out, right? We send it out into the universe. There's one thing before I get to the application. This reminded me of the law of attraction work. And where did that start? Law of attraction work actually started with, do you remember the movie and the book, The Law of Attraction? And in the very first couple of pages, the author is talking about how she was given a book by her daughter, and it was a book that was written at the turn of the first century, right? Early 1900s. And that's the concepts that she drew from to write The Law of Attraction. And that author of that book at the turn of the century was Wallace D. Wattles. And he wrote The Science of Getting Rich. Now, the thing is that when a lot of people, when they saw the title of that book when it first came out, and for almost a century later, they were still referring to it in a financial sense, money. And that's a part of it, but it's not the whole thing. And so I got the book on, this was actually, you can get the book for free now because of the copyright has run out. But you can also get the CD, and it's probably downloadable now too. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. He's the one that brought it in, ground it to the earth plane. What we're talking about, the field of plenty. He doesn't call it the field of plenty, of course. But this was that first book that they talk about. So I like to go to the root of where things get started. So it helps me understand the thoughts behind it and who wrote it and all that, helps me to understand it better. The other thing is that with my work with sacred geometry, in sacred geometry, the belief is, because that's just another belief system, is that the 5 platonic solids are the building blocks of all life, and that those building blocks are found in the 6th dimension. The 6th dimension, number 6. And that is where the field of plenty resides. Because that's where we send our prayers. When we say we're going to send it out into the universe, at a soul level, we already know we're sending it out to the 6th dimension. Same way with Wallace D. Wattles, what he talks about. And sending it out. He doesn't call it the 6th dimension, but the building blocks of all life. And they also represent the cardinal directions, the 4 directions. And the 5th one is ether, which is spirit. And so different thoughts, different belief systems, different ways of explaining it, the words, the vocabulary, the jargon might be different, but they're all talking about the same thing. And that is the energy that comes from spirit to help us manifest what we are creating here on earth. Yeah. Lisa's saying, is he rich or is he still waddling? Sorry, my mind isn't right. Actually, he's not with us anymore. He walked on a long time ago. So I would say he's rich. Or maybe he's even reincarnated by now, back on the earth plane somewhere, or maybe another planet. I don't know. He's been gone for a long time. All right, so Jamie Sams writes about the application of the card. She says that if this card has appeared, you are being assured that what you need at this time is manifesting. That what you need at this time is manifesting. Your needs will be met. She says, give thanks now before your needs are actually met. To be grateful now before it actually even shows up on physical form. Show great spirit the trust you have in your process, dropping any doubt and becoming childlike again. So that childlike innocence, that childlike enthusiasm, when you know that that your present is coming or that your present is here, you can see the box, you can see the wrappings, you just don't know what's inside it yet, and it's that enthusiasm. And remember, I said our emotions are the fuel to bring that creation into the physical plane, into the physical world. That's how we ground it to this earth plane. So our emotions. And childlike emotions. You know how exuberant children can be. We used to be that way. Some of us still are. And if you have grandchildren or nieces or nephews, and watch them sometime, watch their exuberance and how excited they get about something. That level of excitement, they can manifest very quickly, very quickly. It helps when you have loving parents too. It does, or I should say, loving adults in your life. She goes on to say, do not limit the manner in which the physical manifestation occurs. In other words, don't turn away the gift when it gets to your door. She says, we're asked to recall the differences between true need and material crutches, which are mere illusions of happiness. In all instances, the field of plenty reminds us of our divine right to have our prayers answered and our needs met. I'm going to say that again because I think that is the one sentence that really jumped out at me. In all instances, the field of plenty reminds us of our divine right to have our prayers answered and our needs met. I like that. I like that a lot. It's a good one. I like this field of plenty. And it's a new or a different term for it. It's a new one for me. And so I always like learning new stuff. Here's the poem. The poem. Field of plenty, abundance for all. No hunger, no more pain. Great mystery holds earth's children's dear and feeds them with eternal flame. Children of earth, trust again. Be grateful and give praise. The field of plenty will remain, sustain us all our days. I like that. She is a good poet too, I think. I do believe. Oh, thanks for being with me today. I appreciate it. And like every other day that we've done the card draw and talked about it, take what felt good to you, what resonated with you, and see how that unfolds in your day, how you can utilize it. Take the opportunity to do that. And if there was anything that you thought, oh, I don't think that, no, that can't be right, that didn't resonate with you, didn't feel good, that's okay. Just let it go. Just take the pieces that did resonate for you and see how that works. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for the card draw, right? And have a great day, a good Friday, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern, and we'll find out what else Spirit has to say for us. I know, I love it too, Elise, I do. All right, thanks, you guys. And Bama Mina, that means, in Potawatomi, we'll see each other until we see each other again. Have a good day.